Hey YouTube, Frogtoad here. Today we're going to take a peek at the Fenix LD20. Now I needed to replace my incandescent pocket lights with something that was a little more modern, and this is actually only the second LED flashlight I've ever owned. Now, the one I had before was one of those ones you buy, you know, at the counter at the hardware store. I think I paid a whole $4 for it, and, you know, it worked. It was fine. Did a little research, and based on a few friends' suggestions, as well as just my own research, I decided to give the Fenix LD20 a try. And all I can say is, wow, where have you been all my life, baby? If you still have an incandescent light and you want something that the batteries last longer, has more features, is just overall a better light in just about every respect. I can't even think of anything except maybe cost, which I'll get into in a little while, why you just wouldn't want one of these lights. Now, the main features I like about this particular one is, you know, like the mag lights, it's a hard anodized aluminum body. This thing's tough. No problem. I've dropped it a few times already. It's got some scratches in it. I've been carrying it every day for about 4 months now, and I use it at work. I mean, everywhere as I go, and it's been beat on a little bit. So I wouldn't make a video on it unless I'd used it for a while. Now, again, the features I like: tough, very tough. It's also submersible. I have had this underwater and had no problem with it. Now, would I leave it, you know, would I take 50, 60 feet underwater? No. But I sometimes have to dive on a boat, and quite frankly, diving around here where I live in the bayou can be a little bit like diving in chocolate milk. So you need something that's bright. This is bright. And because it's submersible, I got no water inside of it. I had it down, you know, 15 or 20 minutes, 10, 15 feet. No problem at all. It has O-rings, both in the tail cap and in the headstock. I haven't taken it off yet, but I know it's there. So definitely an all-weather light, no doubt about it. If I can take it under the water where I am, it can be carried anywheres in the rain, drop it in puddles. Don't sweat that at all. Now, as far as the beam, okay, it's got a few settings we'll go through later, but the bottom line is it goes from about 9 lumens to somewhere around 180, I think it's advertised. The low beam is fine for navigation. Cruising around camp, through a darkened house, no problem, keep you from tripping over chairs. The medium beam is the one I use the most. That's enough for me to be able to walk around and see enough detail to look for things. That's kind of the everyday thing. The 180, wow. It casts a huge beam. It lights up everything right now. Now, that only lasts a couple of hours, or so they say. I have not killed a set of batteries with this yet, because I use almost always the medium setting. And I have rechargeable batteries, so that's another issue that I'll get into a little bit later at a different video. But I do like the rechargeable batteries. Now, this is, like I said, this is T6, so it's tough. Some of the other features it has, let me just go ahead and turn it on. Anybody who has kids, well, you can see how bright that is. Anybody who has kids, and mine have done this to me, set the light down. Now, if you have one of the old mag lights, you can't tell it's on. Well, as you can see, thanks to little crenellations around there, you can tell it's on. No problem. And yes, I suppose if you were forced to use it to fend off something unwelcome, that wouldn't feel too well. So it has a secondary purpose. I use the lanyard a lot. You drop it, uh-oh, it better be on, or it's gone, it's black. So I have the lanyard around my hand when I'm using it. The pocket clip, this thing's good. I mean, it's right there. I don't use it very much because I carry it inside a pocket on my Camelback, so it stays. One thing I hope, I'm going to check this a little bit later, is if I can get this clip off of here and get it onto here. This, just looking at it, this area looks like a smaller diameter than this area here. And this is tough steel. I'm going to have a tough time getting that off of there. But I'm going to try, because I really don't like, even if I'm going to carry it in a pocket, having it lens up, nah. I'd much rather have it with the tail cap up. That way I can grab it and use it. So I'm not quite sure what the purpose is behind that. So all in all, of course, it's AA. You probably figured out by the size. I did get a couple of accessories along with it. This is the red lens cap. This is great at night. You know, I've used this to read charts, and overall that'll save your night vision. That's a good little thing. The cone. No, I don't direct traffic, but with the cone and on high, as you'll see in a few minutes, it makes a doable lantern. So let me put a test subject up here, and we'll turn out the light, and you get a peek at what it looks like in the dark, at least in here on my workbench. Alright, so what I've done is to set the modes on this, you do it by twisting the bevel. So I'm going to twist it just like I was taking it off, just a little bit. First click, that's supposed to be 9 lumens. Now I'm just going by what the manufacturer says. A soft touch brings it upwards and somewheres in a ballpark of 40, 46. And one more soft touch, that brings it up to its highest setting. I don't know what the lumens are on that. And then one more touch puts it in blinky mode. Now if you take it and turn the bezel all the way just like you were tightening it, that's 180. Again, according to the manufacturer. Now, it's hard to tell on camera. You can see it right there. And now I'm holding it, probably 5 feet off the table. That's plenty bright. I could actually work by that, not counting the shadows. And then if you give it a soft touch, you get a bit of a strobe effect, which is probably freaking the camera out horribly. So, let's get the lights back on. Okay, we'll put our test subject back over there in the corner. So there it is, the Fenix LD20. Now, I don't want to call this a downside, but there's a lot of people who may balk at the price. The list price of this is somewhere around 60 bucks. I picked mine up street price. I believe it was just a little over 50, and I think it was through Amazon.com. But, you know, that sounds like a lot of money, but this is a lot of flashlight. You know, is it worth it? Yeah, definitely. Would I buy it again? Absolutely. I hope to God I never lose it. And just as a side, it did come with a little sheath. Has a place to clip, you know, for a carabiner or something like that. And it does have a place to put it on through a belt, or I guess that could be a molly attachment. Yeah, it's an adequate little sheath. I don't use it. Only because with the clip and with the lanyard, it's kind of a pain in the butt. If I was going to carry it around without those two things, I'd use the sheath. So for right now, the sheath is just kind of sitting around. Well, there it is. That's the Fenix LD20. Recommended? Yup.